When your cat turns their back to you, closes their eyes, and settles in without once glancing over their shoulder, most people think they are being ignored. But what is actually happening in that moment is one of the most deliberate vulnerability acts in the animal kingdom. Your cat has just deactivated the survival system that monitors the space behind them, aimed directly at the area every predator targets, and chosen to do it with you in the room. That is not indifference. That is an act of trust so layered and biologically specific that researchers have spent decades trying to understand which humans cats choose to perform it for. In this video, you are going to learn the 5 things your cat does exclusively for the human they have chosen. And by the time we reach the 5th one, you are going to want to stop everything and go find your cat. Here is what most people believe about cat affection. They believe it is accidental. A cat sits near you because you are warm. They rub against your leg because they want food. They sleep on your chest because you happen to be horizontal at a convenient time. The popular image of a cat is an animal that tolerates its owners, that shows up when it suits them and disappears when it does not. And that image is costing owners something real. Because the truth is, the cats are not indiscriminate in who receives these behaviors. Every single thing on this list is something your cat performs with selective, instinct-driven precision. They are not doing these things for strangers. They are not doing them for every person in the house. They are doing them for you. And the distance between what most owners think is happening and what is actually happening is one of the quietest and most persistent losses in the cat-human relationship. Most people spend years receiving these signals and never knowing what they are holding. A 2019 study from the University of Lincoln found that cats form genuine attachment bonds with their primary owners that closely mirror secure attachment patterns observed in human children with their caregivers. Think about that for a second. Not familiarity, not preference, a bond with the same psychological architecture that shapes how children learn to feel safe in the world. Your cat has built one of those around you, and these 5 behaviors are how that bond gets expressed, in the only language your cat has available to them. Before we get into the first behavior, I want to plan something for later. There is one behavior in this video, the last one, that most owners walk past every single day without ever understanding what it means. It is the quietest of everything on this list, the least dramatic, the easiest to dismiss as routine. And it is the one that most owners say afterward they wish they had stopped to recognize. Because by the time they understood it, the cat who had been doing it was gone. We are going to get there. But first, let us start with the one that most owners read completely backwards. 1. Turning their back to you. In a moment, I am going to tell you exactly what is happening inside your cat's nervous system when they do this. And it is going to change how you see this behavior permanently. But first, here is what you need to understand about feline anatomy. Because without this piece, the behavior makes no sense at all. A cat's spine, the back of their neck, and the base of their skull are the precise points that every predator in the wild targets. Not the belly, not the paws, the back. Thousands of years of predator-prey pressure have wired cats to monitor those areas with almost compulsive consistency. Their ears rotate independently to track sounds from behind them. Their peripheral vision extends to 270 degrees. They are, at every architectural level, an animal built to never fully stop watching the space they cannot see directly. That vigilance is not a choice. It is biology. So when your cat walks over to where you are, settles in close, and turns away, facing the wall, the window, the open room, and stays there, relaxed, sometimes drifting into sleep, they have done something extraordinary. They have turned off the program that monitors the space behind them. Because you are in it. And their nervous system has classified you as a presence that does not require watching. Most owners read this as rejection. The cat is nearby, but not truly engaged. Physically present, but mentally somewhere else. What most owners do not realize is that their cat has just performed one of the most trust-specific behaviors in their entire behavioral repertoire. They have placed their most vulnerable anatomy facing away from the only being in the room. And they stayed. To your cat, this is the feline equivalent of handing someone your keys and going to sleep. Not a small thing you do casually. Everything. In the wild, even cats in closely bonded pairs maintain some degree of directional awareness during rest. The pressure to track their environment is too old and too deep to fully suppress. But a domestic cat with their chosen human will sustain this posture for hours. Not because domestication has made them careless, because you, specifically, have been removed from their threat equation. You are not just familiar. You have been integrated into their sense of safety at a neurological level. And that integration is not something cats extend broadly. Most owners go years with a cat that does this, and interpret it as the cat not really wanting to be close to them. Their cat has been saying the exact opposite, every single time, and the message has been landing backwards. 2. Sleeping on you or pressed against your side. Stay with me here, because what I am about to tell you builds on something most people understand on the surface, but misread at the level that actually matters. Sleep is the single most dangerous state any animal can enter. Muscles release. Awareness drops. Reaction time disappears entirely. Cats are acutely aware of this, and where they choose to sleep is one of the most carefully assessed decisions they make across the entire day. Most people assume their cat gravitates toward warmth or softness, but here is what most people miss. Warmth is secondary. Safety is the primary variable. Your cat has mapped your home in extraordinary detail. They know which corners hold afternoon heat, which surfaces vibrate when appliances run, which windows carry outdoor smells that need monitoring. They have built a complete environmental model of every available resting location. And when they bypass all of it to sleep on your body, your chest, your legs, that specific hollow between your knees, they are not making a comfort decision. They are making the highest confidence security assessment their system is capable of. Researchers studying feline sleep behavior have found that cats in multi-person households return consistently to one specific individual for close sleep contact. Not the warmest person, not the person who feeds them most often. The person their nervous system has registered as safest. Your heartbeat rhythm, your specific respiratory rate, your individual scent profile. All of it becomes what researchers described as a biological security anchor, a signal that tells your cat's threat system, this location is monitored. Rest is possible here. This is where I want to introduce someone. Her name is Sarah. In 2021, she went through a genuinely hard stretch. A sudden job loss, months of quiet uncertainty, long days alone in an apartment that felt different than it used to. Her cat, a gray tabby named Miso, changed his behavior during that period. He had always slept on the couch, but starting that winter, he left his usual spot every night and found Sarah in bed. Not near her, on her. Chest or shoulder, same position, every night. Sarah assumed it was a new warmth preference. She did not think much about it. We are going to come back to Miso, because what he was doing during those months was not about warmth. It was something cats do specifically for the people they have chosen, when those people need them. And you may recognize it in your own cat. Here is the piece most owners never catch. When your cat stretches fully against you, body elongated, belly slightly exposed, paws loose, no tension anywhere. That level of muscular release only happens when their threat system has gone genuinely quiet. A cat that feels any degree of unsafe will sleep compact, tucked, poised to move. A fully relaxed, sprawling cat pressed against you is not just a sleepy cat. It is a cat whose nervous system has determined, based entirely on your presence, that nothing is coming. That conclusion is not passive. It is something they have arrived at because of you specifically. 3. Grooming you. Here is where it gets really interesting, because this is the behavior that looks the most like simple affection and is actually the most socially exclusive thing your cat can offer. Most owners find it sweet, a little odd, the sandpaper tongue on the back of the hand, the working through the hair, the occasional nip that comes with it. Most people chalk it up to a quirk, a flavor preference, something their cat picked up somewhere random. What most owners never realize is that this behavior, allo-grooming, the term researchers use for social grooming between individuals, is one of the most restricted behaviors in all of feline social life. A 2016 study published in the journal Animal Behavior examined grooming patterns in feral cat colonies and found something striking. Allo-grooming was not distributed evenly across the social group. It was concentrated. Specific cats groomed specific individuals consistently, and those relationships tracked directly with the overall depth of the social bond. The grooming was not casual, it was directional. Cats chose who they groomed, and those choices revealed who they had genuinely claimed as their own. And hey, if this is changing how you see your cat, if you are realizing that things you thought were random have actually been deliberate this whole time, hit subscribe. Every week, this channel goes deeper into the language your cat has been speaking to you. It is the best way to make sure you never miss another signal. Back to allo-grooming. When your cat licks your hand or works through your hair, they are doing three things simultaneously that most owners never unpack. First, they are scent blending, mixing their chemical signature with yours so that at an olfactory level, you become a single social unit. In bonded cat pairs, mutual grooming creates a shared scent that communicates group membership to every other cat in the environment. Your cat is making that same declaration about you. Second, they are reaching back into some of the oldest neural programming they carry. The first experience any cat has of being cared for is being groomed by their mother, within seconds of birth, before their eyes have opened. That behavior is neurologically encoded as safety, as belonging, as being loved. When your cat grooms you, they are taking that architecture and applying it to you. Third, and most importantly, they are doing something their social instincts do not allow them to do casually. They have sorted you into the category of beings they maintain, of beings they actively care for. Most owners go their cat's entire life thinking this is a texture habit. Their cat has been performing one of the most meaningful social acts available to them, and it has been landing as a quirk. That is not a small gap. To your cat, grooming you is the same gesture a mother gives a newborn. You have been placed in the category of beings they tend to. That category is not large. 4. Bringing you something. I want you to stay with me for this one. Because this is the behavior that gets the most laughs. And underneath those laughs is one of the most emotionally revealing things your cat will ever do for you. The dead insect on the kitchen floor. The toy mouse placed carefully on your pillow. The half-alive moth that appears beside you at 2 a.m. Most owners respond with some combination of alarm and amusement and a reach for something to dispose of it with. Almost no one responds with what the moment actually calls for, because almost no one understands what the moment actually is. In feline behavioral research, bringing captured prey or prized objects to another individual is one of the clearest expressions of resource sharing within a social unit. Mother cats do this with kittens in a precise, staged sequence. First, delivering fully dead prey so kittens can eat safely. Then injured prey so kittens can begin practicing pursuit. Then gradually stepping back as their kittens develop competence. This is not simply feeding. It is an entire social teaching curriculum offered exclusively to kittens the mother has claimed and is actively investing in. When your cat brings you something, they have placed you inside that framework. You are not just someone who lives in their space. You are someone they are provisioning, someone they are including in the act of providing, which in cat social structure is one of the deepest expressions of investment in another being's well-being that the behavioral system allows. A 2020 study from the University of Exeter tracked indoor-outdoor cats over several months and found that prey items were brought back to specific individuals within the household far more consistently than to others. Even when all people were equally accessible, they were not bringing things home to the house. They were bringing things to a person. Here is what makes this even more important. Your cat is not showing off when they drop something at your feet. They are sharing. They are including you in provision. They are saying, in the only vocabulary their instincts give them for this moment, I thought of you. I wanted you to have this. I do this for the beings that matter to me. This is where I want to come back to Sarah and Miso. Because during those quiet months of 2021, alongside the nightly sleeping on her chest, Miso started bringing Sarah his toys, his small cloth mouse specifically. He would carry it from wherever it had ended up and drop it near her feet, then sit and look at her. Sarah laughed every time. She thought he was bored, that he was initiating play. What Miso was actually doing was exactly what his instincts coded him to do for someone in his inner circle who had been sitting very still for a very long time. He was bringing resources. He was offering provision. He was doing what cats do for the humans they have chosen. When those humans seem to need something the cat cannot identify, but will keep trying to address anyway. With the only language available. Drop something valuable. Look up. Wait, that look, the one your cat gives you after they have dropped something at your feet, is not impatience. It is a cat waiting to find out if the offering landed, if you are okay, if you understood. 5. Following you from room to room, in silence. Remember earlier when I said there is one behavior most owners only recognize as special after it stops happening? This is it. Your cat does not announce this. There is no meowing, no weaving, no performance of any kind. They simply appear. You move to the kitchen, and a few minutes later, they are there. You settle into a different room in the evening, and eventually, quietly, they find you. Not on you, not asking for anything, just near, just present in whatever space you have moved to. Most owners think this is coincidence, or routine, or the cat following environmental patterns out of habit. Most owners never pause to ask why it is always you they follow, why it is always your location they recalibrate around. And that not asking is one of the most quietly significant missed moments in the cat-human relationship. In studies of both feral and domestic cat social behavior, researchers have found consistently that cats arrange their spatial positioning around social bonds rather than resources. Cats with strong bonds to specific individuals redistribute their resting locations across the day to maintain loose proximity to those individuals. Not constant contact, not intrusive closeness, just knowing where you are. Cats with abundant food and shelter still adjust their ranging patterns to track the location of the being they have bonded with. The bond is the variable that drives the movement, not the food, not the door. You. Every time your cat has quietly appeared in the room where you are, every time you have turned around and found them already there, settled, watching you, that was a choice. A small, unremarkable, repeated choice, made again across every ordinary day you have shared together. Not because they needed something from you in that moment, because where you are is where they want to be. And for a cat, that distinction is everything. Sarah understood this about Miso about a year after he got sick and his mobility declined. He could not follow her anymore, not the way he used to. She would find him in whichever room she had last been in, as if still trying, still keeping track in the only way he had left. She told me she had walked past that behavior for years without once stopping to receive it for what it was. A small, repeated, daily act of choosing her. Again, over and over, through every unremarkable Tuesday, through every ordinary evening, without ever being asked, without ever making a sound. Your cat is choosing you right now. Maybe they are in the room with you. Maybe they found their way to wherever you are reading this, and they are somewhere nearby, arranged in that particular way cats arrange themselves when they are keeping quiet company. They did not end up there by accident. They followed you here. And that following, that quiet, unhurried, non-demanding proximity is not coincidence, and it is not habit, and it is not about the temperature of the room. It is the clearest statement your cat knows how to make about who matters to them. Spoken in silence, every single day, whether you noticed it or not. In a life as rich and sensory and privately complex as a cat's, full of stimulation and instinct and things that genuinely fascinate them, they keep redirecting their attention back to where you are, not because they have to, not because there is nothing else, because to them, you are not just someone who lives in their space, or provides their food, or opens their doors. You are the place they chose, and they keep choosing you in the smallest possible ways, on every ordinary day you share, hoping, in whatever way a cat can hope, that one day you will understand what they have been saying all along.